Hey everybody, Hiker James 52 here. Let's go geocaching.
Alright, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome to another episode, number 7, uh, Geocaching Adventures. And this is brought to you out of Mansfield, Ohio. And, oh man, we've had some nice weather. It got up to 54 degrees today here. And we're just eating it up. We haven't been out geocaching because it's a lot of snow melted and it's really muddy. So we're giving that a chance to dry out and feel a little better because one thing I like to do is clean mud off of my boots at the end of the day. All right, got a couple things going on here. One thing is that the geocaching 20th event is delayed until July or August in 2022. So there's not going to be a Woodstock, it's all these events that Geocaching headquarters is putting out there. They're not, they're postponed because of the COVID. Wow. Um, let's see, what else do we have? There is an event in Michigan. Um, yeah, that's like 3/9 March the 9th. Yeah, that's 6 days next weekend, I guess. Not this coming weekend, but the one after. And then there's a 19th annual Texas Challenge event on March 13th, 10 days from now. Um, I don't have the GC on them, but it's not too hard to figure out if you go to your geocaching.com page and search for it. Um, let's see. I was reading the other day, somebody had been out geocaching and they asked this question. The cache was off by 55 feet, which is pretty good little distance there. And should I move it closer to ground zero? Y'all know the answer to that one is no. Leave it alone. You can add the coordinates on the page where you had found that. You can get a hold of the cache owner, let him know about it, and it's just that simple. Don't move the cache anywhere. Your GPS might be off. I've seen them be off 30, 40 feet, you know, in a day's time, depending on the weather, the overcast, and things like that. So you don't really want to do that. So let's see. Um, get me up here on the picture. There we go. All right. Now, what else we got here? I got a list, and I'm going to go through it because this is important. A lot of people get stuck out there in the middle of nowhere and they don't know what to do. uh, I've been geocaching for 10 years, so I've got quite a bit of experience on what to take and what not to take, what's important and what's not important. And I've got a bag. It's just a small carry bag. And I'm going to be trading that in for a small backpack here before long because the bag, I throw it over my shoulder. Well, it slips off your shoulder all the time. Constantly, or holding on to it with your thumb or something, keep it from falling off your shoulder. So if you get you, what I would do, I use a bag until it's full. It is full, but before you buy your bag, your backpack, get everything together what you have, and then figure out what size backpack do I need for this. Some get by with a smaller one, some want the larger ones. And we got a phone call. Unavailable. Goodbye. I hate them unavailable phone calls. If they're not available, then I don't need to talk to them. So anyway, back to this. Hold on. Let me hear that here for a minute. I'll drop this down. Vibrate. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go through this list here and tell you everything that I've collected in the last 10 years. Because you're not going to start out with that many things. Oh man, that would take a whole paycheck probably to get everything that I've accumulated in the 10 years. But these are important things that you need. Um, Definitely take pencils, pens. The more the better. Because you get out there in the middle of nowhere and you lose your pen. By the time you get to the cache, where's your pen? And then, wouldn't you know it, there's no pencil or pen in the cache. Or it's a micro or a Bison Tube or something like that where there's no room for a pen. Then a lot of people, they say, well, can't I just log it that I found it but I didn't have a pen? No. They can delete your log. They can delete it. It's not really the answer. I write that right on there. Found the cache, but I couldn't get it open. But they log it that they found it. They didn't find they found the container, but they didn't find the log sheet. They just say you can't prove you're there. I mean, I could do that all day long on here, and it just wouldn't be right. Small backpack. All right, we talked about that. Rope. I carry 100 foot of rope, a quarter inch. It's polyethylene or whatever it is. It's between $2 to $6 to go to Wally World for 100 foot, and that is well worth it because you never know when you need a rope. And I found myself in a spot one time where I definitely needed a rope and didn't have one. And my wife pulled me up. There was an embankment that I went down because I seen the cache. It was in an old tree, or a hole in the bottom of the tree, and they had the cache in there. Well, I started down this slope, and I slid all the way, and I wasn't even thinking until I got ready to go back, and I couldn't get up the hill. And she had to find a tree limb long enough to. No, I think I found it down there in the woods. I found a found a tree limb big enough to get me up there, and I tossed it up the hill enough where she could get a hold of it, pull it, and hold on to it while I got up the hill. So definitely, it's a lot easier to carry a rope. All you have to do is just throw it down the hill, have somebody tie it off on something, and pull yourself up. Water bottles and snacks. You gotta have that. If you're gonna go out there um, and get any amount of geocaches during the day, I usually get somewhere between 6 and 10 on each trip. So you get a little hungry and you get thirsty. So that's a good thing there. Carry some kind of water bottle and snacks. First aid kit, definitely. I've had to use the first aid kit several times. Sometimes you get into the thorns and you'll rip your finger open with a thorn or stick your leg with a thorn. Um, you cut your finger on. There's all kinds of reasons to have a first aid kit. What you put in it is what you'll have for whatever needs you get. Think about it. If you're going out there, you need the band-aids, you need triple antibiotic, you need hydrogen peroxide, clean out the sore cut, whatever you got. There's three main things to put in that bag. Anything extra is just whatever else you want to carry with you. You know about what you'd like to have in the first aid kit. Multitool. Multi-tool come in handy several things, and I've got one that's got the Phillips regular screwdriver attachment. It's got the knife. It has the little saw blade. It has the pliers. It's just handy to carry. You just comes in a case, put on a belt. There you go. You can get one. You don't need an expensive one, but you can get a good one for like $10. I need a headlamp and flashlight. Now, even if you're geocaching in the daytime, a headlamp or a flashlight comes in handy if you want to look inside of a hole, like a tree, an old dead tree, the bottom eat out of it. So, you got to have something to see in there because I'm not going to stick my hand in any hole. I stuck my hand in a hole one time down in Florida. It was in a bunch of rocks, and there was a hole in the rocks, and I couldn't see in there, so I just reached my hand in there and I felt it. It was a box. When I pulled it out, that's going to kind of got me wondering about why I didn't have a flashlight. They had camo tape on it that looked like snakeskin. I might not stuck my hand in there if I'd have had a flashlight, unless I was sure there's no such thing as a rectangular snake. So yeah, that's handy. And anything can happen. You get hurt or something, and you be out there after dark. A flashlight come in handy to if you got somebody trying to find you. You can shine your flashlight back and forth, and they'll see the light. A whistle too. I don't have any reason to use a whistle. Get one of them for a couple bucks there at the dollar store. And if you're just off the trail just a little bit, and there's people up and down the trail, get the whistle, start blowing it for help, and that'll help. Now, a must thing, you got to have a GPS or your cell phone because you're not going to find the coordinates without it. So that's one of the main things. Now I got here sunglasses, hat, and gloves. Now the sunglasses is on a bright day. If you're out there in the sunshine and you're trying to look behind something that where the cache is supposed to be, and your eyes aren't adjusted exactly right, because the sun's been in them. So you wear your sunglasses until you get to that spot. And when you think you got to look behind a dark place, take your sunglasses off, and you got the light. Your eyes will adjust a lot quicker. A hat, uh, you wear a hat for the sun. Uh, I've got some kind of thinned out hair. Actually, there's some not there. But anyway, the hat would take care of the heat from on top of your head and the sun in front of your eyes if you don't have sunglasses on. And gloves, well, you're going to stick your hand in a hole without gloves on? Not me. I'm going to put me on a pair of gloves. You never know it yet, too, because some places maybe it rained for a long time, and maybe there's um, mud on it from the rain, yucky, gooey stuff growing on it. Um, yeah, take your gloves with you. A notebook, a pocket-sized notebook. I carry that just in case, but it'll come in handy for your extra log sheets. If there's a cache that is big enough to put that sheet in it, go ahead, make a logbook and put on there They're temporary until you contact the cache owner that needs a new log sheet. A geoswag. Everybody should know what geoswag is. Go to the dollar store, spend about $5, $8, and you got a whole pocket full of swag that you can throw in your bag to trade, leave, or whatever, and geocache for somebody else to find. Extra log sheets. Now, I know, they sell them, and you can buy them, but I'm going to show you a little trick to that right here. And just here, I'm not going to say a whole lot about it. I'm just going to show you this. Check this out. Yeah, check it out. Free. They're free. That's all I'm going to say about that. Whatever size, any size, from nano to large containers. Pick out what kind you want. Download it right there. Print it right out. Print it right out. That's it. 2 links in there. Print it right out. Okay, y'all got that? I'm gonna take it off now. All right. Now, you need a walking stick. I have a telescopic walking stick made out of some kind of metal. It's real lightweight. It's got the hand grip where you can hold it like this, and on top of it there's a compass. It's a cheapy compass, but it will tell you the right direction. If you're supposed to be going east, it'll work. And the top of the handle is kind of, I don't know, where's my hand at? It's kind of, I can't do it. Anyway, it's not exactly round. It's when your hand on that would be the direction you're going to see on the compass. It's going to be right there on top, looking at. And I think I gave $15 for 2 of them. They come in a pair, or you can just buy one of them for $8. So that, and it's not just for walking. It'll help you, going down a hill. Telescope that thing out as far as it go, and you put it down in front of you and walk to it, and then set it down and walk to it. It keeps you from slipping and sliding and doing all kinds of stuff. Now, I'm talking about going out in places where it's real lot of hills and things like that. But it really helps too when you're just on a walking trail and take some of the pressure off of your legs. Some people use 2 of them, but then that leads you to the footwear. You want to get the right footwear. They, it's nice to go out in tennis shoes, nice some kind of sneakers, but if you're in the woods and stuff, every time you step on a rock, you're gonna feel it. Every time you, well, it's just tennis shoes that usually get dirt in them. If it's dirty, dusty trail or something, they don't fit real tight around your ankles. But I have a pair of they're work boots. Well, they're hiking boots, really. They're hiking boots. They have on the heel. The heel curves up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not flat like this. Here you go. Oh, this is fun. The heel kind of curves up like this. You know what I'm talking about. The ones that are flat are not really made for walking. But anyway, I got me a pair of them, and they got that steel toe in them. They're not real heavy. They're not much heavier than a regular pair of boots. And $25. I've had them. I wear them every day, and I've had them for a year. And they're still got a lot of tread left on them. And so get you something nice. I watched a show the other day where somebody got out there in the woods and they twisted their ankle or something, and they was wearing flip flops. You do not wear flip flops while you're geocaching. All right, now tweezers. You definitely need to get you a pair of tweezers to pull the log sheets out of those nanos and micros and things. I've seen even some bison tubes that were it's hard to get the cache the log sheet out of them because they were just kind of crammed in there. Um, a log sheet roller. You've seen them, log sheet rollers. You can buy them. I don't know how much they are when you buy them, but I'm going to show you mine. Here's here's the let me do this. Here's the whole thing. All right, there's my log sheet roller. You can't really see a whole lot about it, but this is what I made, and I made it from what they call a roll pin and a little screw eye hook screw, and then I used this wooden dowel and cut it. I put a little varnish on it, made it look kind of pretty. Um, and this roll pin, I'm going to show you a picture of that roll pin because this is only like a quarter inch. It's the same diameter as the plug on your headphones. It's the same exact size as your earbuds or headphones or whatever you use for your phone, your radio, Walkman, whatever you got there. And that's the size you need. I think they call it, that's a 3.5 millimeter in size. And if you go to a auto parts store, my nose is, go to an auto parts store and tell them you want a roll pin, and they'll probably bring out a box and open it up, and there'll be a dozen or more different sizes all sorted out in that box. And then you pick out the size you think would be right. But if you do have to, take your pin, your head jack. There we go. Take your headphones or your earbuds in the store with you and say, I want one the size of that. Okay, so now this is a picture of what it looks like. And this is blown up real big. But if you can notice that it's got that slit down the middle. It's hollow inside. Well, now when you get your nano or your micro or whatever you need to roll, slip it in that slot and start, hold it on there while you start to turn it. After you get around it about one time, then you just kind of hold the paper snug, not too tight, but roll it up. And then after you get it rolled up, you can slip it off. It slips right off, and it will fit in there. A full sheet, um, 11 inch sheet of paper. Um, what are they? About a half an inch wide or something like that. Um, they'll roll it up to where they'll slip right into that nano or micro, and that's pretty neat. Now I did on my. I don't recommend you doing this because I probably shouldn't have done it myself. But if you notice, I put a, you can get the light on it here. I drilled a hole in the end of my, see that? I drilled a hole in there on the other side of my tweezer, so I put a small key ring through it. And then I put my tweezers and my nano roller on that key ring with a, all right, help me out here. Biner, how do you say that? Binary, the clip. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's the clip. The clips on your belt or whatever. That way it's all together. And I got a special place in my car where I can carry that, and it's right, almost right in front of me. I hang it off the little hook on my sun visor, and so when I get there, I know I got to get that. I got to take it off and clip it on my belt loop, and there I go. So that dowel, that wooden dowel that I was telling you about, it's real easy to make. You go to Water World and get you a wooden dowel stick, or go to the dollar store if they got them in the crafts department. And I cut this one, I don't know, about 3/4 of an inch long. Drilled a hole with a drill bit all the way down the uh, the whole length of it, and then I put the pin in. Well, first I put the screw in, the the eye screw. I put that in there, and I tightened it down to where it was right at the end of it there, right to the end of the loop. And then I took the dowel pin or the roll pin, and I coated it real good with some epoxy. I dropped a little epoxy in the hole, and then I took that pin and I pushed it down and twisted it down until it hit the end of the eye hook, and then I just let it sit and let it dry. So, and then it's really handy. I like it. You know how to make your own, and it'll save you oh for $4 or $5. It'll save you. Okay, where are we at now? We have that and this on the other side. Telescopic mirror or magnet tool. Well, mirror and magnet. The magnet tool comes in real handy. If you got a nano behind the sign, you can't reach it with your hand, you need to wear a magnet that will snap that thing right out of there. Um, Epoxy. I carry epoxy just in case there's a damage. I mean, a geocache can get damaged. It can maybe um, have a hole in it, a crack in it, or something, and I'll go ahead and fix it up. And I'll let the cache owner know that I did that, because you patch a crack or patch a hole in one, and it saves all the stuff inside of it if it gets wet. And you're helping somebody out that doesn't know what's wrong with it. Camel tape. I do the camel tape because I've seen some caches out there where the tape was just completely almost mush, I guess you'd call it, from being in the weather. And I'll take some of that camel tape and rewrap it, and then I'll let the cache owner know. Always let the cache owner know what you did to his cache. He might know that it needs wrapped, and he just don't have the time or the money to buy the camel tape. And if you let him know that you fixed it, you know, that'd be nice. Extra pill bottles, empty pill bottles. If you got any, they come in handy, because if a cache is totally tore up, um, you can always take a piece of that camel tape and put around it, take an extra log sheet and put it in there, put on there, temporary and or replacement, and you can put that there where the old one was. Leave the old one. Uh, yeah, leave the old one. Don't take it. Leave it there. Maybe a few rubber bands in your bag might help too. Wrap the two together with a rubber band. That way, if somebody comes out there and they see that, chances are they'll find you know, the old one's probably got wet inside or something, but the new one will be fresh, and they'll find that. Then the cache owner can do with it what he wants after that. Okay, bug spray and after bite. After bites, in case the bug spray don't work. I've had mosquitoes make a meal on bug spray. They they don't care what it is. If it kills them, they'll eat it anyway. Uh, they will. But I always carry bug spray, and if that's not enough, I carry after bite. And after bite really works. Hey, you get it for about $2, and after you get bit, I mean, this works for mosquitoes. It works for um, chiggers. It works for just about anything. You get bit, you take that, and you just rub it on there. It's in a little tube with a little foam patch or something on the end where you just rub it on the bite, and it'll take the sting out and the itch. Might have to put it on there 2 or 3 times in the next couple of days, but it does work. A UV light, ultraviolet. I found out one time that I needed that, and you're probably gonna want to know why I need an ultraviolet light. Well, there's no rules about using ultraviolet pen on like a multicache where you go find the first coordinates and then it's wrote on the page what the second coordinates is. You can use an ultraviolet pen to write the coordinates on there to where you can't see it, not with the naked eye. And you shine that ultraviolet light on there and it just glows. It just shows right up on there. And but if it's your cache, you need to list it on your cache page that you need ultraviolet light. And if it's somebody else's, it should say on there, need ultraviolet light. It keeps muggles from going out there and discovering this stuff and figuring out the game, but they're not really in the game. And it keeps them from finding the second coordinates. Uh, if they stumble across one and it's got a coordinates on it for another one, they'll more than likely try to find it. So that's just a double safety for muggles. Compass and map. I know that it's old fashioned to have a map and compass, but what if the only thing you have to get back with is your phone or your GPS and it breaks? Well, compass and a map really come in handy if you know how to use it. Now, there's videos on YouTube that was to completely explain, go through it, everything on how to use a map and a compass. And just search YouTube for how to use a compass or how to read a map. It won't take a couple, 2 or 3 videos, and you'll be on your way. Okay, let's get to the drink here. I'm dry it out. Okay, small binoculars. They come in handy. It's something you don't need every trip, but in your bag you got it if you need it. Especially like if there's supposed to be a cache up in a tree. somewhere, and you want to know where it's at, so you know what's, you get 10, 50 feet up in that tree, and you find out that there's no way to get around the other side of the tree to get to the cache. Yeah, the small binoculars is $8 to $13 at Wally World. I do all my shopping at Wally World. But they do come in handy, especially if you think you're lost, but you're close enough to your parking area. If you use your binoculars, you can search to see exactly where your car is. Um, Charging cables, don't forget to take charging cables for your phone or GPS with you, because you can charge them up between that geocache and the next one. Uh, I had on here extra batteries. Did I say that a while ago? I did. I'm pretty sure I had it on here. Extra batteries. Yeah, there you go. Never know when some of your GPSs don't have a way to charge them. You have to just put your batteries in it. And you get out there halfway through the day, 40, 50 miles from home, or even 10 or 15 miles from a store, where you have to walk back a mile and a half to your car to go to the store to buy a new battery. So, just throw however many it holds. If it holds 3, if it holds 4, throw that many in your bag. Take them back out when you get home so they don't get bad, from sitting in the bag all the time. Uh, Small magnets. I've got some small magnets. They're only about half an inch. Yeah, let's try this one. Well, they're only about the size of the wood piece on here. Not that long. And they're little, it's square, about that long. And they come in handy, especially if somebody has, oh, what do you call it? Let's see, a cache on a guardrail in a spare key holder, and the magnet's broke. Well, you don't know. What I would do if the magnet broke off of that, I would get my epoxy out and mix me up just a little dab and attach my magnet to it. Now, it sounds like I'm really spending a lot of money on other people's stuff, but I'm not. It might be that the cache owner, maybe he's on vacation, or maybe he's in the hospital, or who knows why he can't get to it to fix it. So just a little bit helps. Magnets, each one of the magnets is probably 20 cents at the most. I bought a whole uh, container full of them. Used them for my light cover, my outlet cover caches, and I had a few left over. So now you need small pliers or channel locks. I had a Bison Tube. No, it was a micro. That's the next step up, isn't it? Micro, yeah. Nano, there's a nano, micro, and a Bison. So it was a Bison Tube, and it was hanging in a tree, and I could not get that cap off of it. It just would not turn. I worked on it and worked on it. Put a rag over top of it, get a better grip. Could not get it to work. And the only thing I had in the car was a pair of vice grips. So I adjusted them out to where when I squeeze it down on the lid, it wasn't that much pressure. And I got the lid off. So, just some little things like that. A pair of pliers would help if it's small enough to get it around. It might maybe skin the camel paint off of it a little bit. I don't know. Just be careful with it. Um, Here's another thing too. You carry a bottle of fingernail polish, clear, clear fingernail polish. And if of course these containers are usually aluminum, so they're not going to rust. But if you wanted to, you can take a little bit of that fingernail polish and put over the little scratch or whatever you made, and that'll take care of it. Oh boy. Let's see, what do we get? Oh boy. Sneezing time. Okay, that's enough of that. Tie strips. The little plastic tie strips, you might get probably a dozen or so for $1.50. And they come in handy if, say, whatever it is that they had holding the bison tube or whatever on a tree limb uh, rotted away or rusted out. Uh, you can actually, sometimes the tree limb will swell up as it grows, and it would be real tight on that. Well, that's not good for the tree limb. So if I ever run across something that's either swelling up against the tree limb where it's going to damage the limb, or if it's just going to hold, go ahead and cut off that one and put a new one on. So whenever wherever you go, whenever you leave, keep in contact with someone. Always give someone locations where you're going to be. Keep in contact with them. If you're out there by yourself, and you shouldn't be. If you're out there in the wilderness, have somebody with you. And even at that, let somebody know where y'all going to be. Because what if you both get hurt, lost, or whatever? Other bad things can happen. Um, and if you don't let somebody know where you're going to be, and you get hurt, or for any reason, might not be anything real big, might even just be a sprained ankle. But if you can't walk out of there, you'll be there when the next geocacher comes. But if you look at some of these logs, uh, sometimes these caches don't get found uh, within the next within that day. A lot of them can maybe get found sometime that week, but a lot of them they're only finding this cache one one cache find a month. So be prepared, have some way to contact people and let them know where you're at and what time you think you'll be back. If you got your phone, call them every hour or two. Don't wait until you're dehydrated and hanging off a cliff by a little skinny branch before you um, let them know. So definitely, you can map it out. Just draw a map of the area you're going to be in and whereabouts off, how far off the trail you're going to be. You know all that stuff before you go. You should. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say for today. Um, there's a lot of things you can do. I make a lot of my caches. I make a lot of my. I don't go buy nanos, micros, bison tubes, and things like that. I use different size pill bottles and the tape, camel tape. Okay, so here's another. I have my YouTube. Uh, I'm on YouTube as much as I am on. Well, every time I make a podcast, it goes on YouTube also. So if y'all want to do that, uh, rather than listen to it on there you go. If you follow me, um, you'll get notifications when the show's going to be on. Do the what we call it, like and ring the bell, or like and hit the bell, so you get notified. And that is mprp.us. The MPRP stands for My Podcast Radio Page. I thought that was kind of neat. Instead of typing all that in there, just go mprp.us, and that'll get you there to my page. Now, if you want to see this one more time, uh, the same thing about it. I mean, it's there. Write it down. Check it out. If you want to save some money to print them out yourself, a page of each size there is. Then, when I need one, I just cut it. I mean, some of them's got, now, depends on how small they are, some of them's got 10 of them on the page, and the whole length of the 11-inch page. So it's not something you're going to need all the time, but I always carry a couple of everything I have in my bag, and leave the rest of them at home in a file. Save them on my computer, and that way I can, if I run out of my file, I can print them out. So yeah, that's it. And then of course we got my podcastradio.com. That's my website. The Mars Perseverance rover, they're not showing it yet, having any pictures taken or anything. But they said as soon as they start taking pictures of it, send it back to Earth, they'll go ahead and open up that page, uh, so we can log that we discovered that geocache, or not geocache, but travel bug. Now, if you've been keeping up with that, that's good. But keep up with the page. Right now, it shows it's archived in the hands of the owner. But as soon as they start sending it back to the Earth, they're going to take that loose to where we can actually log it, and it will be on the picture. The, the rover is going to take a picture of itself, and that will be on there. If you want to know where that page is, it's a TB5EFXK. You'll jot that down and go there, follow it, put it on your watch list, and let things happen. Other than that, that's pretty much the show. And yeah, I didn't have any comments, but we've been on it, and it's time to go. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and end it. Oh wow! All right, so we're gonna go ahead and end the show today, and I hope you learned something, and some of this information will be helpful. And until next time, same place, uh, for our live show. This is Hiker James 52, and see ya. Okay, goodbye.